Hey, welcome everybody. It's Carl Hovelson here, and today I've got a full panel here. So we're just going to go across. We're going to introduce everybody all the way across, and they're going to come in and they're going to formally introduce themselves, let them know what their success has been with here, and that I guess. So let's start. We'll start from let's go from left to right. We'll do it this way here. We'll start with the ladies, and we'll go across. Although Sedegay, I'll pop you in there because I know you're near the end, but. Okay, let's start with you, Jasmine. Jasmine, can you introduce yourself and just let everybody know about yourself and the company?
Well, I don't really know what to say besides you just mentioned my name. My name is Jasmine, Jasmine Lyons. I'm 28 years old. I'm in Concord, North Carolina, but I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm not a newbie to the marketing industry. I've made some money online, but not with Empower Network. And I'm just looking for, a way to implement some strategy in my online business with this company. And I'm looking forward to, like a great future in our team. So that's all I have to say.
Excellent, thanks, Jasmine.
Thank
Okay, we're
you.
going to go over Connie. Introduce yourself, let everybody know your success and stuff you're having with the company and so forth. I'm excited about that.
Yes. Hi, I'm Connie Gaston, and I have been with Empower Network for about 7 months now. And when I first got started, I got started kind of slow, didn't follow all of the step-by-step instructions, and thought I could pick and choose what I wanted to do, and that didn't work out so well for me. So when I finally decided to, fully commit, and I got, all of the product packages and started doing all of the trainings and following all of the core commitments. So once I did that, within less than a week, things started to escalate pretty fast for me. So I'm pretty excited about being with this company and having results. And I'm really excited to meet the new people who are joining the company because I can't wait for them all to have results as well. So that part really pumps me up and really gets me, going each day. A couple months ago, about 2, 3 months ago, time really flies. I was able to quit my state job. I live here in California, and I was a manager for state for 10 years. I was actually able to quit so I can do this full time. So I'm really excited about that because I've had so much time, more time with my kids, and so much time for the business. So I'm really excited, and I hope you all can get there one day and really see results. Thank you.
Awesome. And it's great that you mentioned that because we're going to be talking about the daily action plan and how everything comes into play.
Right.
Next, we're going to go over to, I don't know, it's Lasher. I'm sure that's not your name. I'm not sure who this is. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself and let everybody know why you came to Empower and how you're doing with it. Over to you.
That me?
Yep, that's you.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. I'm Larry, Carl. Good to see you. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Okay.
Loud and clear.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought we were going to order. My order looks different. But yeah, I've been in Empower Network since November of 2015. I want to say the 19th of November 2015. And kind of like Connie, I really didn't take it serious. I mean, I kind of looked at it and I saw the potential, and then my sponsor kind of sent me an email and really kind of got me thinking about some things, and then I really kind of got all in and really started hitting the ground running. And so I want to say I really kind of got focused in December, and since I've gotten focused, I pretty much hit boss levels every single month, which is,
Wow.
for those new people, that's sponsoring 5 people a month. As I'm speaking to you now, I just got a couple sales and made about $400. So I'm excited about that. So kind of like Connie, once you kind of make that decision and you start focusing, the universe starts bringing success around you, and your mindset kind of
That's right.
changes. Kind of take it seriously, and then people start taking you seriously, and then you kind of track that, and you get to a point where you want to just be around the leaders, and you want to live that lifestyle, and it just becomes part of you.
Exactly.
Amen.
There you go. Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, I'm going to jump over you, Paul. I'm going to go to Sedegate because I forgot to bring her on before Larry. So
Right.
over to you. That's why he was waiting.
Right. Right.
Okay, so again, it's over to you.
Hi, I'm with Empower since April 2013, and I just didn't treat my business as a business, and I work casual, and but now I started taking seriously, and I quit my job as a nurse, and now I'm doing this full time, and I'm surrounding myself with all the leader, especially Carl, Alex, Michael, and John, and I'm getting all the golden nugget. And because when you are treat your business like a business, then you see the result. That's my advice to you guys, and always teach your newbie. Don't leave them alone. Email them constantly, and call them. Do Lawrence them calling for the event to all newbie, and give them advice to come to the event, because in the event you can see your breakthrough. Bring your teammate and email them, call them, be with them, and coach them.
Right.
Amen.
Awesome, and that's exactly it. Exactly. Paul, we're going to go over to you. Introduce yourself and let us know how things are going for you right now.
Okay.
Especially about what you shared this morning.
Sorry.
I say especially about what you shared with me this morning.
Oh yeah, that was pretty amazing actually. Hi everybody, my name's Paul Gressel. I'm from Calgary, Alberta here. I've been with Empower now since I guess just a little bit after Christmas, I believe. So it's going on about 8 weeks, I guess now. I've been in online since about I guess 2010, really, just trying to find how to make money in that, and I think I made a total of $37 in 6 years. So being consistent and not giving up, I guess I'd be the poster boy for that one. So if you can say that. Yeah. So what I find with Empower is the community and the mentorship is awesome so far. What I've found, I haven't seen that anywhere else online. I've seen a lot of different programs out there, and this is the best one I've seen. So, and this morning, like Carl was saying, basically I was putting the law of attraction, I guess, in my mind in the last week, because I want to move forward with the business and get up to the top producer and get all in and everything, and obviously, it costs money to get into that. So ended up getting an overdraft with the bank, and they also offered me a credit card. So I thought that was excellent for that. So that'll really help out with the business.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah. So and look forward to see everybody in Nashville.
Awesome.
There you go. Yeah, he's going to be in Nashville there with us.
Yeah. Tickets already bought.
Let's go over to Steve. Steve, again, introduce yourself and let everybody know what's going on with you.
Well, I'm up here in Michigan, or down here in Michigan. You guys are north for the gal there in California.
I'm in Michigan too, Steve.
Hey, you are? Well, hey, bro, where at?
I'm in Detroit area, Southfield.
Well, I'm about an hour and a half from you.
Nice.
Where you at?
Michigan.
Where you at?
A little town called Pittsford, down in Hillsdale County.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, that's where I'm at. So,
It's a small world.
boy. Started in Empower back in June. I got in, and 2 weeks later I was in Las Vegas at the first conference.
Great.
And I got in all in at that time because I saw the power of the system. And I really wasn't working online. So this is all new to me. I did do things for business on working with AdWords and things like that, but I really didn't understand it all. You know, I could never understand how in the world can you make Facebook, and because they say work on Facebook and that stuff. Now I know. And I've been gaining. I've been in sales. I made boss. Here last month, I got a couple more sales to do to get boss yet this month. But the thing of it is that I'm seeing results. That build a little bit at a time. So,
there you go. Well, thanks for sharing that. You know, this is why I like to have everybody coming on here to find out. And these are just regular people, everyone, that are just coming in and just trying to find a different way. Maybe they got fed up with working in the corporate world like I did, or maybe maybe they got laid off, or whatever it's happened, and they've decided to make a commitment to themselves. Okay. And that's basically what Empower Network is all about. I mean, the name of this company is probably the best name they ever could have given it, because it does nothing but empower you, both in your mind, for your personal life, and for your business life.
Right.
So we had Larry talking about and Connie talking about how they didn't take their businesses serious. And when I came involved with this company, I started way back, just 2 days after the company opened, back in 2011. And companies, when they first start up, they go through their issues of just getting going and stuff like that. And I wasn't patient enough at that time. So what did I do? I kind of walked away, and I came back in 2012 when they had all the things ironed out. Now, the funny thing is Alex Zubarev, who is my personal sponsor and close friend of mine, he's the one that signed me up right after that. We were in a program prior to Empower. We came to Empower. And the funny thing is that, Alex never ever lost his vision about this, where I did. And Alex and I at that time were making about the same amount of money every month in the programs we're in. To date, he's about 1.2 million ahead of me now, because that's what he's done in Empower. Now, you're going to hear us talk about money and that on here today, and I just want to make sure that everybody knows that the things that I talk about on here, these results are not typical, okay? Everybody's going to do their own thing. The results that you hear are people that take control of their lives and decide to do something about it. Where they'll go out and they'll work this business, and that will create the results that we talk about on here. Okay, so I need to make sure that we're very clear with that. So results are not typical, definitely not typical. Make sure you check out our income disclaimer at empowernetwork.com/income. Okay, and that's where you'll be able to see real-time stats, daily stats on the income that is done in this business, because not everybody's going to make money. Okay, and I'll be quite honest with you. The reason they don't is because it's funny how people, just when they come to an internet business, they don't think it's a serious business, okay? They think it's just something you play around with. Right. And the funny part is that the internet has made more millionaires than any other business offline, okay? And that's the crazy part, okay? They've retired more people out of business and into the network marketing arena. And I've seen it. I know many of these guys that are out there. I've worked with a lot of them. I've been in this industry now almost 36 years. I started in 1978, 79. So I've been around the block in this thing. And one of the great things about this is that it allows you to live life on your own terms. But again, you got to grab the bull by the horn, and you've got to really run with it. Now, as Connie and I'll get with you in a sec, Larry. As Connie and Larry were talking about, how they didn't take serious. This is how I didn't take it serious. Okay, even when I came back and started working with Alex again in September of 2012, I came in. I didn't go all in. I wasn't a full product of the product. I came in and I bought almost all of them, with the exception of the Mass Influence, which is our top product there. That basically helps you create mass influence over people. Now, that particular product was a $3,500 product. And some people go, well, that's an awful lot of money to spend for a product. Well, that product alone has made me over $100,000. Okay? And not just some of the money I've made in Empower Network, but when I went on to make it in other businesses. It was that product training that allowed me to create the money that I've made in my career, and that's only since 2012. You know, I've gone on to make, I don't know, somewhere around $180,000 in other businesses, you know, including with Empower Network. But the point I'm making is that I didn't come all the way in. And as I was mentioning to these people just before we came on, Alex, my sponsor, kept telling me, Carl, you've got to be a product of the product. You have to get them all. And I hesitated, and I hesitated. And then in, I think it was 2 or 3 days, I passed up $9,000 in sales to Alex, where I received the phone call, I told you so. And I'm not giving any of that money back. Okay? And it was something that I needed to hear. Okay? Because I'm not the only one that's had that happen. Okay? But I decided at that point that enough was enough. I wasn't going to give him any more money. Okay? So I decided to buy the Mass Influence, and within 7 or 8 days after I bought that, I had my first 67 or 62, I can't remember what it was, $6,700 day. Okay? A day. Mm-hmm. And then using that product, I was working a few other things, and I was able to create my very first $10,000 day, not month, day, and $20,000 day, not a month, a day. Okay? I did $30,000 in that month. And the reason I did that is because I utilized the products. And again, see our income disclaimer, okay, at empowernetwork.com/income. Because, you know, I don't want anybody thinking that listening to this that they're going to go out and they're going to make this kind of money. Okay? You could, but I'm not going to say that you will, because you have to have the determination, the focus, and the passion to go out and do this. Now, with our company, and we're going to have everybody here that's going to chime in on all this, we're going to be talking today about a daily plan of action. And that includes what we call our 8 core commitments in our back office. And we'll actually go through and show you kind of what those are. Okay? Now, Larry, you had a question. Did you want to chime in?
Yeah. First of all, I just want to say for the new person, you know, you have to look at it in terms of it's a business, and you have a lot of situations where people are coming from a employee standpoint, where, you know, from an employee standpoint, you know, you go to the job and you can kind of waste time and get paid, whereas from a business standpoint, it's a different mentality. So it's more of a hustle, is kind of how I look at it. And I guess the best way I can explain it is this: if you're trying to walk across the street, you have cars coming, okay? There's 2 ways you could take it. You could, one, get hit, okay, or you can move rather abruptly so you don't get hit, okay? So I say that because that's the mentality you have to have when Empower. You have to have a hustle mentality, and it's a different mentality. So a lot of people, you'll learn this once you like chime into the products, because it'll teach you how to become more of an entrepreneur. And most people are coming from a I would say more employee mentality. So it's a mind shift, you know, but I feel like Empower gives you the keys to be successful, but you got to plug in, you know what I'm saying? So it's important to plug in. If you don't plug in, you're not going to be successful. So, you know, like he said, choose an income disclosure, but everybody on this panel, we're all above average. So if you're that type of person that's looking to be above average, you know, click on, you know, get with, you know, whoever brought you to this organization, Carl, any of the leaders here, you'll be successful, flat out. So that's all I have to say.
Absolutely, and you know that's it. You know, you need to just take action, and the whole part is about this. I know how you talk about hustle. It's, you know, how I look at it is every single person on planet Earth is a salesperson. We sell ourselves every single day. Okay, but the problem that we have is we don't utilize that skill. Only a few select will actually utilize that skill. Okay? I mean, you're constantly selling yourself to your family, to your friends, to people all the time, just on who you are. Okay? Right. And what I guess the big thing that we need to make sure and that everybody understands is that business is all about selling your worth to people. Okay? people join people in business. You've heard that many, many times. Okay, you know, if you want to join a business, this is where you will go out and you will work for somebody else to make somebody else rich. Okay, when you want to become wealthy, okay, that's when you turn around and you sell yourself on your worth. Okay, and that's the only way you become wealthy. The company that you become a part of, like us with Empower Network, that just becomes the product of like the engine in your car. That's what helps you run. Okay, that's the tool that drives you. Okay, and what we have is quite amazing. Like I said, I've been through all these products over and over and over again. Even the old products that we had. Now, you know, what we have now is a new generation of products. It's basically an enhanced version of the old products. And, you know, I go through both of them all the time. And, you know, you can see how the transition has happened over the years. And all this is a transition of knowledge. Okay? When you go to work every day, like Larry was mentioning, when you go to work every day, there isn't really a passion or a drive that makes you go there. You see, everybody goes to a job every day because of simply the paycheck. Okay? And that's what it is. They go there, and it's funny how they will hustle even at their job. Some of them won't. Some of them will sit there, put their feet up, and, you know, they'll you know, I know guys that do that, sit around the water cooler outside having like 600 smokes a day and working like 3 minutes a day, whatever, right? I see them all the time every time I go out someplace. You know, I used to smoke, and I used to do that. I used to go for like 10 cigarettes a day, right? And the same people are all out there, right? All 150 of them, or whatever it is, right? You know, nobody's working, everybody's smoking, or at the coffee machine, or something like that. And the thing is that there's really no focus for anybody, and there's really no reason to drive them to do anything other than to go there, put their 8 hours in, and then go home. Now, the funny thing here is this: is we have been so spoiled, and I'm talking about the human race in general. Okay. We've been so spoiled that we will do that every day without question at all. We will go, we will get in our car, we will drive for an hour, or on the bus, or whatever it is, drive for an hour, or whatever it is to take to work. We'll spend our 8 hours there, get on the bus, or drive in our car all the way back home. We'll do that 5-6 days a week, or whatever it is, without even questioning it. Okay? Without question whatsoever. And when payday comes, they get depressed because here they've got just enough money to pay the bills, and again, another weekend without any family fun or whatever it is, because there's just no money left at the month, right? At the end of the month. So this is the issue that most people have in the world. And when you have opportunity like we have to be able to live life on our terms, be able to make whatever money we want to make, if we're driven enough and if we're passionate enough to go after it. Again, I've experienced days that people, you know, I've made more money in a month than some people make in a year. Okay? And you know, it's crazy when that happens. But the thing is, it's realistic. You know, we deal with people all the time in our company that are generating incomes that are beyond belief with most people. Okay? And what happens is that people just don't take our industry serious enough, which is very funny. Like I said, you know, they won't go and spend a couple of hours a day to create equally about the same amount of money they are doing 8 hours a day, because they don't believe it's possible. They've already allowed themselves to be brainwashed that that's an impossibility. Okay? Everybody agree on that?
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go. So,
Yes.
it's funny because the 8 core commitments that we have within our company is exactly the same thing that everybody does every day. And yes, it is being recorded, by the way. Okay? So, what we do every day, you know, we have our 8 core commitments, and we follow that, and that's like the same thing that you are given at whatever job you go to. Now let me just talk about that process, and then we're going to go across and get some feedback from everybody. Okay? A job. Okay? Now, whether you think this is a job or not, you'll maybe figure that out after I've explained this. But here we're going to talk about a job. Okay? Now, you're unemployed, and you want to get a job. Okay? So, jobs are free to get. Am I right? Yes? No?
Yes.
They're free to get. Okay. So, you go out and you get a job today, and you get hired at ABC Company. Now, at ABC Company, they're going to say, this is what you're going to be doing, this is what your role is, and this is how many hours a week you're going to work. Okay? And you're required to work these hours a week. We'll give you 1 hour for lunch or half hour, whatever it is, and 2 coffee breaks. This is what it is. That's all free, am I right? Okay, so far there's no cost to an employee here at this point. Okay? Now you're going to make some money. Okay? So, in order for you to get paid in your current job, you have to do certain tasks every day that's demanded by your job's position. Okay?
Right.
So, unfortunately, I can't mute I can't just hang on. Let me just mute everybody out here. There's some feedback going on. Okay, just give me a sec. Okay, so you have your tasks that you've got to do every day, and you've got to follow that, because if you don't, then you're going to get fired, and then you're going to be without money again, right? Now, all of this was free. Am I right? None of this cost anything. Okay, that you know of. Okay. So let me add some costs into here, because everybody talks about, well, running a business shouldn't cost you anything to run a business, right? You get that all the time. Why do I have to pay a monthly fee to run a business, right? Well, here's your costs, okay? When you look at your business, okay, here's the cost that it's going to cost you every single day. You have to commute to work, okay? Your commute is going to cost you money. Okay? You're either going to take your vehicle or you're going to take transit. That's a cost per month. Okay? Now your cost per month in transit fees, okay, or driving a car is going to be around $100 a month at least, at minimum. Okay? $100 a month just to commute back and forth to work. Okay? So that's there. Now, we're not going to talk about your lunch or anything. If you don't take a lunch with you, now you have an additional cost every single day. Now, that lunch could cost you $10 a day, okay? So now we're talking an extra $200 a month just for lunches if you ate at work every day. And let's just face it, 70% of people buy their lunch at work. They do, okay? So now, we're not going to talk about the time that's even part of this, okay? So you have your 8 hours that you've got to work at your job, because the average job is 40 hours a week, sometimes it's 44, depending. We're going to talk about a 40-hour week, okay? That does not include the hour or 2-hour commute or whatever you might have to work and home from work. So now you could be looking at anywhere from 10 plus hours a day out of your life that you're just going to a job that's going to pay you just to get by. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now we're talking on the average here. Okay? We're not talking about an executive position or anything, because that's above average. Okay? If we're going to get into that, now we're going to start talking about what we do, because that's your above average. Okay? So I'm just trying to make it a little bit more visual for everybody to kind of understand the difference between going to a job or becoming an entrepreneur. Now let's talk about an entrepreneur, okay? With an entrepreneur, it is like, I'm going to use I'm going to use like a franchise as an example, okay? Although that's probably the wrong example here. Every business requires a startup cost of some kind. You're always going to have some costs. Now, before we even talk about our industry, let's talk about if you wanted to be a business owner, okay? Let's say you wanted to own your own store. I was a business owner, okay? I had my own sports card store, okay? So now, let's look at some of the costs per month there, okay? I'm not even going to talk about the money it cost me to drive my car to work and back,
Right.
okay, or take the bus or whatever it would be to go there. I'm just going to talk about having my own business. Now, let's not even talk about a franchise because we know what the cost of franchises are. Let's just talk about going in and getting a small store space for you to go and launch your store at, and what it's going to cost just to open the doors there, okay? Now, here's just as an idea of what my kind of costs were, okay? Not even paying me a salary, because I didn't pay myself a salary for 18, 19 months when I started my store, okay? I couldn't. I had no money to do that because I had to build a clientele. But my costs were $4,400 a month for my rent, okay? I had to pay 6 months in advance, okay? So I had to get a loan out to do that. When I went to the bank, my bank manager says, well, before we're going to give you any kind of loan, I want to know if you have any kind of collateral. If you don't have collateral, okay, we're going to have to find someone who will be a beneficiary to you, okay, and cover that. Secondly, I want a 5, a 10, and a 20-year plan, okay, because when I go in there with very little collateral, they want to have some kind of security backing on what's going on. They want to know that you've actually got a plan to pay this money back. Because the last thing the bank wants is to own my store, right? They don't want that. Okay? So that was my cost. Now I had to get inventory. Okay? So to fill my shelves, to start off with, I have to start very, very small. Real small. I mean, I had enough to fill one shelf and a little bit. Okay? You know what my cost was a month on that? $5,800. Okay, $5,800. So now I'm at $10,000 a month, and I haven't even got my first customer yet. Okay, don't even have my first customer yet. So here I am, and I can't afford to hire anybody because I'm like all tapped out already. So here was my life. Okay, I had a card store that I worked in. Okay, then after my card store, I went to a part-time job. Okay, so that I could pay my bills. And that wasn't enough. So what happened? I got a second part-time job. So now I'm working a full-time job and 2 part-time jobs. Okay? I did that for 3 years. Okay? And during that 3 years, I missed out on my kids growing up because I never saw them. I would come home at midnight every night, go to bed, get up, be able to open the store at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then work again till midnight again. I did that for 7 days, 3 years straight. Okay? The only time my kids saw me is when they were brought to me at my work. Okay? This is the life that most people live. Okay? They do. Because most people cannot afford to live off of a single income that an 8-hour job pays. Okay? Right. So they have to go out and they have to get supplementary income. Part-time job, whatever it is. This is why people on this panel are here, because we're here because maybe we weren't making enough money in our thing and we needed to supplement our income. And a lot of them came here because they were desperate to be able to pay their bills. They didn't want the repo man coming. They didn't want their car to be taken away. They didn't want the sheriff to come and kick them out of their house. You know? And we see that happening all the time. This is reality. That's the reality world out there. Okay? Then we have our world. Okay? Which is actually, in my opinion, more of a reality than that world. Okay? First of all, when you come to our world, the stress level actually declines. I don't know. Any comment from anybody on here? Has your stress level actually declined since coming to this business?
Definitely.
Okay. And the reason I say that is you don't have the stress of the commuting every day. Because when you are stressed for money, when you're stuck in traffic and stuff like that, that just builds on you. Okay, it builds on you, and then you end up turning into Breaking Bad eventually, right? So you gotta be careful about that. So you gotta find whatever way you possibly can to reduce that stress. Now, in our industry, it's very, very difficult to find anybody who is actually going to mentor you, train you, and so forth. Okay, this is one thing that our industry seriously lacks. And I've been in this thing for 36 years, and it is really, really hard to find that. And in my personal opinion, out of everything that I've been in almost every part of this industry that you can imagine, folks. Okay, I've been in everything. The one thing that every business misses, or is missing, is proper mentoring and coaching. Right. Okay, you don't find it anywhere. The reason for that is because the people that are starting all these businesses every single day of the week, okay, are lost puppies themselves. They don't know how to do it. So they start these businesses, and they're hoping that the affiliates that come on board are actually going to know what they need to do. And this is why you have so much negative aura out there, because the people are coming here, they're not learning, and then that four-letter word comes up. Does anybody know what that four-letter word is?
Can't? I can't.
Scam.
Scam. Okay.
Everything's a scam.
Yeah.
But the one thing they don't realize is that those people that have these full-time jobs out there that are working all these hours to make somebody else rich are getting scammed out of their personal worth. Okay? Because in my opinion, there is no price tag on what I'm worth. There's no price tag on what you guys are worth. Okay? Because when you put your mind to it, you can do anything that you want. Again, every person's a salesperson. Okay? Everybody can sell themselves when they want to. I sell myself every day. I'm selling myself to you guys right now. Okay? I have to. If I can't sell myself every day, I'm never going to get anywhere. Just like, you know, when we talk in our Skype chat room there, everybody's talking about the different support system that's in there. You know, you see everybody supporting everybody in there. What are they doing? They're selling themselves, on how much they feel that you're worth. You're getting sold on yourself because people are congratulating you on your worth. You see what I mean? Every time you tell somebody, hey, I just got my first sale, you're telling everybody you're worth something at that point. You can do it, right? And this is something that you don't see much in the industry. I don't see much of that out there at all. I see a lot of people that post, you know, income and stuff like that, and that could be their income. You know, I mean, I used to do the same thing to draw people to me. These are tactics that are used. Were those mine? Yes, they were. They were my actual results. I proved that to people when they came to me. The point is that I would not build the business I have today, or any of the businesses I had in the past, if I wasn't constantly proving my worth to people every single day. Now, how did I get on this? Again, it's all about the mentoring and coaching. None of this would have happened if I didn't come across certain people that helped to build my my self-esteem, you know, everything else about me, you know, to encourage me to be the person who I need to be. You know, Alex Zubrev has done that for me. Michael Martin has done that for me. David Wood has done that for me. I had other people. Mike Dillard did that for me. You know, when I worked with him on magnetic sponsoring, right? I've had a lot of mentors over the years. Chris Jones, you know, lots and lots and lots of mentors that have helped me. Chris Little, some of you may or may not know him. He's also in Empower Network. You know, he's the guy that I have to take my hat off to him, because he's the guy that helped me break through my ego problem. Okay? Again, you know, 36 years in this industry, I'm gonna have an ego. Come on, you know, it's gonna happen, right? But the thing that you learn, and it's not bad to have an ego. It's bad if you don't know how to control it. Okay, That's the bad part. You need to know how to control that, and you need to know when to use it and when not to use it. And when you use it, very, very rarely. Trust me. Okay, you rarely use that. Okay, because egos are going to be pretty much the business breaker of you. Okay, but we're going to have it. There's no way we can get away from it. It's always going to happen. But the one thing that did happen to me, and when I broke this mold, because again, I was one of these guys who thought he knew everything, and when I broke away from that, right, what happened to me was I actually broke down. I mean, I broke down. I cried like a baby, okay, knowing that I couldn't do it. I had to change, okay, because it didn't matter what I did, how big my head got. I mean, it got so big sometimes, you know, you could probably see it in the distance. So, you know, it's just, that's just the way things are sometimes. And, you know, what I love about this company is that they ground you. Like David Wood, to me, I have the most respect for this guy. You have no idea. You know, if any of you were on the last what did they call it? Hero. What was it again? I forget the name of it.
Generation Hero.
Generation Hero. If you were on that Generation Hero event, you know, you heard David Wood just reveal himself to you. Okay, and you know, I knew that there was something going on with this guy, and you know what? He was not afraid to let anybody know. And when that happened to me, I wasn't afraid to let anybody know either. As a matter of fact, just recently, I just let everybody know about something I'd been hiding for the very longest time, because I worried about what people would think of me if I told people, you know, what my particular disability was, right? And so I let people know. I'm not scared of it. And that was all because of Mike and Michelle Lee Aldo, right? We got on the phone, we had a nice personal talk, and it was another breakthrough that happened to me, okay? And that's what you get when you get involved with the right mentoring and coaching that's out there. So, you know, I know I'm talking quite a bit. I'll get all you guys on here in a second. But, you know, the whole thing behind this is the fact that we support each other, but we follow just general, basic rules of everything. You know, getting back to what the topic is. Our general rules is an 8-core commitment, which is in every other business that's out there. Every business model is around here. How many of you on the panel here are working full-time jobs? Okay, so explain now what you've got to do every day at your full-time job. Let's start with you, Larry.
Muted. Mute.
Can you hear me now?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we sure can.
Okay. Yeah. So the drive, the commute, definitely have to do that. I would say I'm an educator, so lesson planning. We have to do that weekly. You know, grading papers. We have certain types of things that we have after-school functions. Sometimes we have after-school tutoring, mentoring type programs. So yeah, there's a barrage of things we have to do. And a lot of times for an educator, there are things that aren't really told, but expectations, you know, type thing. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we have to do. So I mean, the list goes on.
Okay, so you actually have a list of things that you have to do every day. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So you gotta go. You gotta do these things every day. And if you didn't do those things every day, what would happen?
Well, in my job situation, if I did not do those things every day, first I probably would end up with a reprimand, and then at some point, you know, I'll probably be asked to leave employment. Right.
So you go to work, you don't do what you're supposed to do, and then you go home from work permanently, pretty much.
Yes. You would go home permanently, and you probably would be looking for another place of employment.
Yeah, and you don't get paid for that, right?
No, you don't get paid for that.
So people come to our business. They put down some money to pay for whatever their monthly business expense is, and I call it a business expense because that's what it takes to run any kind of online business expense, and they take it and they do that, but they don't do anything, and then they don't make any money. So it kind of sounds like the same thing, doesn't it?
Well, and that's what I was talking about with that whole mentality, like, because I've noticed people like that as well, and I've tried to reach out to some people, and it's like you have to understand that the system works, but you have to plug into it. You know, that's why I use the key analogy. You know, you can have a Porsche, you can have a Benz, you can have whatever car you want, but if you don't plug into it, you know what I'm saying, it's just a nice sports car sitting there. So you have to plug into the system. And a lot of the people that are here, you know, we have a lot of insight. You know, just meeting Steve, he's from Michigan. I might be able to vibe with him about some things, and he's like not too far from me. You have people here who have different experiences that can help you. Just like in my profession as an educator, there are people that I would communicate with to help me with certain things. It's the same thing. But I have to, excuse my French, get up off my ass and take the initiative and move forward. I can't just sit and just get. I have to get up and actually move and actually what I call Chevrolet. You shove one foot and lay the other. You know what I'm saying? You got to move.
There you go. Paul.
Right.
100% agree with you, and we have to make them move. That's great.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Paul, okay, I know what you do. Let everybody know what you do. Now, you go to work every day. Do you have to do the same stuff every day? Let everybody know what you do.
Yeah, basically the same things. I'm in management, so you know, same thing. You know, I have a daily routine that I got to do. You know, writing schedules. I got to make sure everyone does their job properly, and same thing. You know, if things don't get done that the company, you know, expects me to do, well, then the same thing. You know, I expect a reprimand and you know, possible to be terminated also. So it's you know, it's along the same lines there too. So it's really everywhere you go, it's pretty much the same. You know, like we were talking before over Christmas there with a Generation Hero. You know, I really wanted to see that. Unfortunately, I had to work those crazy hours that, you know, that I missed it. But you know, that's something that I want to get past and then not have to do anymore. So. Right. And that's the whole point of being here is to do that, and yeah, that's about it. So.
Okay, I want to ask both you guys one question. Okay. It's all about passion. Okay. I think I already know yours, Paul. But you guys go to work every day. Is your passion as strong for going to your 8-hour day job as strong as it is for doing what you do here on a part-time basis?
Can I talk about that?
You most certainly can.
There's definitely a different passion, and I want to say that because, again, it goes back to like the business focus. When you're looking at building something for your future as opposed to just putting food on the table, it's a different perspective. Like I said earlier, as far as walking across the street, you know, you could walk and get your ass hit, excuse my French, or you can hustle. And I feel like, you know, when you're in a situation where, you know, you have an opportunity and you have 6- and 7-figure earners telling you step by step by step, and all you got to do is plug in. I mean, Jesus Christ, it's not hard. Like, to me, and I'm not trying to belittle you, but you have to be a friggin' idiot if you don't take the opportunity to plug into a system. And I just want to put it to you like this. I looked at some of my colleagues who were principals, who were superintendents and things of that nature, and yeah, they made 6 figures, and that was cool. But I noticed that their stress level was higher, and they didn't really enjoy the job. Exactly. And, you know, I could have chosen that path, but I was like, why do I want to work more hours for 6 figures, but less stress? And a lot of them was fatter, uglier looking, stressed out, you know, just struggling with situations. And I'm like, man, and then I'm looking at our leaders, they're living a life. you know, having different types of experiences that I'm like, you know, I'd rather choose that. You know what I'm saying? So I guess my thing is, when I look at people in the industry, I noticed when I looked in education, when I looked at my dad, I used him as an example. He's been in education for 30 years and retired with a pension, but he had to end up going back to work. And I don't want that route. Whereas I looked at the people in this industry, if they stayed focused for 2 to 5 years, they were financially free. So do the math. Do you want to do the 30-year plan or the 2 to 5 year plan? I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? Do you want to walk across the street or hustle? I mean, it's all on you. So that's how I saw it. I was smart enough to step back, to lower my ego and take a look and say, okay, I could hustle my behind for 2 to 5 years and see what happens. You know, so far it's been growing. You know what I'm saying? And yes, I wanted to grow more, but it's all about what you bring to the table, and you got to grow at your level. But I am growing. But that's an indie industry. Whatever you start for the first time, it's going to take some time until you learn certain keys of the craft. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know anything about the system. I just kind of plugged in. I just stay a student of it, and just as long as you're around certain people, you're going to learn certain things. Is what I noticed. And I'm just excited about, you know, where I'm going.
Well, that's just it, you know, and it's funny. Like, the reason I asked you guys that, and it wasn't about when I was talking about passion, and you did nail it, because I know you're in education, so you go there and you probably got a passion for the kids or whatever it is there. But I was more talking about the job, okay?
Yes.
You know, so I mean, Paul, do you have the same thing? Like, what's your passion level? We're talking about the job. We're not talking about the people. We're talking about the job here. Okay?
Yeah.
Because that's how we're trying to relate things to our industry, to, you know, the offline regular work industry.
Yeah, like having a passion for work. Well, going to work it pays the bills. So really, there really is no passion. It's more of a just pay the bills. You know, put food on the table, cover your you know, with the business, you know, there's a huge passion there, because, you know, I see a future. I see a huge future, and it's just not about the money either. It's about your mindset, and you know, growing yourself also. Like, I could see the I've noticed a change in myself ever since I've come here, and same with people at work. They've noticed a difference in me, and it's kind of funny, because, you know, I'm starting to change with this business, and the people at work are still the same, and I know in 5 years from now they're going to be the same people, but I'm going to be so much farther ahead, you know, than them, and you know, it's sad, because you want to help those people too, but they just don't see that. You know, they don't see that. They don't see the difference between, you know, working, you know, and having your own business. So
right.
You know, it's funny, because you know, Paul and I have never met, but, you know, we live just a couple hours away from each other, and, you know, just from the time that I've met him to now, I've actually seen the change in him. As a matter of fact, you know, he's kind of found the love of his life here, and I think it's all because just his attitude has all changed on everything. And, you know, it has to do with, to me, it has to do with culture, okay, of what we are all a part of. And those of you that have never been to an event in this company, I don't care about other companies, this company, when you go to an event here, it will completely change your life. Yeah. Say it again, you've been there. I don't know if Connie, you've been to one, or Larry, you've been to one, but these things change your life, okay? They did for me. I had a very, very life-changing, actually a few life-changing moments at the one that I went to in Denver, and I talk about that one all the time, because, you know, not only did I meet my mentor and everything, like I met Alex and hung out with him and Anna and stuff like that, but I met a lot of the others, like Justin Varengia and Dee and all the other ones that are there, Tracy Walker and so forth. And when you engage in conversation with these people, it's amazing what happens in that. And again, it has to do with culture. Okay, it has really nothing to do with the company per se. It's the culture that the company is creating. right? And this is where any of you have never been to one. You know, I've heard big things about what happens in Nashville. This is the second time they're doing it there, and some incredible things happened the first time. I was never there the last time, but I'll definitely be there this time to see the transition that happens to you know, to everyone that's on here. Steve, you've been kind of quiet, man. You got anything to say?
Yeah, man. Hey, can I share my screen?
Yeah, you sure can.
Let me do this real quick. I got to figure if I can figure this thing out. Hang on a minute. I want to show you something I put together. This is what it costs to go to college. And this in what's that, 2033, the estimated college cost would be about $323,000. Okay, now it's about $134,000, and that's private college and so forth. But and then if a guy was electrical engineer, you could probably start out about $61,000. Okay, but look at here. Okay, an average kid coming out of college, it's going to take him 5 years to do it. And the average debt is $30,000. 6%. You figure 10 years. If a minimum payment is $50, it'll take him forever to pay it off at that time. But it could be an average payment of $345 to do it in 120 months, which is 10 years. So if I figure this out, okay, the money they borrowed plus the interest, that's what it's called just for the debt part of college. All right, and I went down here and I say he made, I gave him a raise. He went from 61 to 67. And if he worked 40 hours a week, that's $28 an hour. If he works 50 hours a week, that's $22 an hour, and that's 60. I could never understand people working with salary, you know. But I went over and I took our income statements, statistics here, and look at this. And I broke it down. You know, these guys here working 15 hours a week, because most of them guys say they work about 3 hours a day, so 15 hours a week. And he's going to make $6 million in that same amount of time. I think it is. And take away the first 2 years of not making any money, about $6 million. So his average hourly wage is $470, working less time. And it's the same way, you know, as you go down the different levels here, you can see where you're at. And then you got these guys down here, and they're not making any money. The only reason why they didn't do the 8 core commitments and did what these guys did. So the system works. All right. The system works. Right here's the proof. Why it doesn't work for people is because they don't do the job that they're supposed to do. Now, how do I get out of this screen?
We can get you out of there. But you know, that's exactly it. And it's because, again, people not being a product of the product. Okay? Those ones making that money are a product of the product. The other ones are not. See, these are the ones that are not taking this business as a business. It's a hobby to them. Now I have to make sure we throw the income disclosure in there. That, you know, www.income. I have to make sure I do that because they're on me all the time when I forget to do that on my videos. So I need to make sure that that's there. Okay. So again, thanks, Steve, for sharing that. That was awesome. Anybody else want to comment on that?
Well, you know, you spend $40 grand, you know, for college, and you're not even guaranteed to work once you finish your schooling, right? So, what can you imagine if you took that 40 grand and put it into the business, how far ahead you would be, how quick that would happen to for you.
Well, you know, it's funny you mentioned that because Rena and I we went out to a restaurant the other night there for Valentine's, and our waitress was a nurse that just she just graduated from university to become a nurse. She couldn't find a job anywhere. So, I mean, I know that it's not cheap to go to university for that, so I'm guessing maybe $30,000 to $50,000 plus a year, you know, so maybe $150,000 that she's got in student debt, right? And she's working as a waitress, and it's like, you know, that it makes me cry. My nephew, you know, he's an engineer, you know, he came out and he was able to get a job right away, but now he's unemployed. Right, and he still has like $92,000 of his student loan still to pay. Yeah. Right. You know, it's funny because, you know, as you mentioned that, it takes the average student anywhere from 5 to 8 years to pay off their student loans. Okay, and that's when they actually start making money. So you can't even actually start saying you're going to start making money until after that loan is paid.
Yeah.
Okay? Because the debt is so high. The loan amounts are so high. You know, they're like the cost of a car every month.
Yeah.
You know, $600-700 sometimes, some of them. You know, my nephew was paying almost $1,100 a month for his student loan, right? Because it was up to $160,000 or something is what his loan was, right? Yeah. So I mean, these kids are struggling. I mean, like he's 25, 27 years old or whatever it is, you know. And the point is that he's still trying to actually start his life, right? I mean, he's up in debt to his eyeballs because he went and he bought a house and all this kind of stuff because he was making a nice paying job and stuff. And then he got laid off. So now he's got a house payment, he's got a student loan payment, and everything else to live on, and now he's on fumes, right?
Yeah.
And this is why people come to this industry, because this industry can create you a CEO income faster than you can ever imagine. You know, this is why you see millionaires made within 3 to 6, 7 years in this industry, and millionaires made offline in about 10 to 20 years. Okay? And that's if they're fortunate enough to work and do what it takes, overdo what it takes, to get to that point. Because not everybody can go and become a CEO of a company. Not everybody can become upper management in a company. You know, the chances of you becoming upper management, like, for instance, you know, Paul, you work for a grocery chain, okay? So in order for you to become the vice president of that company, you would have to probably put in about 20 to 25 years of experience with that company, working your way up the ladder in order to get there. So now you're going to take 25 years to get to that, and then it's going to take you another 4 or 5 years to make your first million with that company.
Yeah.
Okay? Because, you know, actually it could be even more. I don't know what they pay. I'm guessing that if they pay $250,000 a year.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, that sounds
If they pay $100,000 a year, you're looking at 10 years. So now you're looking at 35 to 40 years before you make actually your first $1 million in that thing there. Okay? Now, that's if you stay with the company for 40 years. Okay? So, you know, and that's few and far between in period anyways, because most people don't last longer than 5 years at any business.
Yeah.
Okay? 10 years at the most. So,
Hey, Carl?
Is with the economy too. You know, like this business, you can succeed in this business regardless of what the economy is doing. If it's up or if it's down, right? Unlike a job, with all these kids going to school 4 years ago, that when these kids went to school, started school, the economy was chugging right along, right? They never even expected where it is right now. They finished their school and now the economy is in the toilet, and nobody can find a job. Yeah. But if you come working, if you come and start your own business, especially with Empower and that, it doesn't matter if the economy is up or down, because that has nothing to do with it, of your success.
Well, let's talk about economy, okay? When you go and have a job, when you go into a working job, that job is based on the local economy, okay? Local economy. Our business is based on a world economy. So even though things might be bad in North America, they could be great elsewhere. They could be great in Scandinavia. They could be great everywhere else.
Yeah.
And your business is still going to thrive because of that. Okay? And this is what a lot of people don't understand. Right? That an online business is always going to thrive higher than a local business or even a corporation. Because even corporations aren't built globally. Some of them are built just on the continents that they're on. Okay? So everybody has to take that into consideration. Right. Okay? The second thing is that I didn't touch on, I want to touch on here just a sec, is when you go back, let's go back to the job thing. Okay? So you go and you get a job, and then the one thing that they do at a job, each and every one of you have had this, they will take you through a training process. Okay? So your job is going to take you through, and they're going to train you on what you need to do. Okay? Now, in some cases, the training is going to be free. And in other cases, it's not necessarily going to be free. Like, for instance, in my case, when I was in IT, the company paid for my course, and they paid for the flights and the hotels where I went. But they didn't pay for my meals. They didn't pay for anything else that I did. Okay? So when I went on training courses, a lot of those courses cost me like $500-600 over the course of 4 days, because I had to entertain myself, right? So it costs money to eat and all that kind of stuff wherever you're going. Now, some businesses will even make you pay for your own education. For instance, my business. I was an IT guy. So when I wanted to upgrade my education, I actually had to pay for my education first. And then if I passed the certification, then the company would reimburse me. But if I was an idiot and I slacked off and I didn't get the qualification, well, I lost out on the money. That was it. Tough luck. Try again. But you're going to pay again, and then if you fail again, you're going to lose that money. So, you know, I did a few courses, and a couple of them, I just missed it. I just missed the qualification. Those cost me $5,000. Okay? $5,000. $2.5 grand each time for each course I took. And I missed out on 2 of them. I came a couple of percent under the qualifying for the company. The company had its own qualifying amount. I passed the course, but I didn't pass the qualifications that the company wanted me to get, because I had to get a certain percentage, right? And I missed it by a couple of percent, so they didn't reimburse me. Now, when that happened, of course, I didn't get the raise. So I was still stuck at the salary, because those courses would have increased my salary. Okay? Now, let's get back to Empower Network. Okay? We have different courses in here, different products, which are, in me, they're courses. Okay? Top Producer is a course, Business Builder is a course, Mass Influence is a course. Now, I go and I purchase those. I can go on to still create an above average income. I can go on and make more money with those products than I was actually making. I could buy the next one and even make more money as I advance. But yet, I go and I toss out all kinds of money on my own personal training for a company that I have that, and they'll utilize my skill, but they won't reimburse me for it, or they won't raise my salary for it. So I'm giving them more value, but I'm not getting paid for it. You understand? And unfortunately, that's just how the world works. They take advantage of everybody, and they will always take advantage of you, because the idea is for you to make them rich, not for them to make you rich.
Right.
Okay?
Exactly.
All they want to do is be able to pay you what they feel you're worth, what they feel you're worth, not what you feel you're worth. I mean, you can't go to a job interview and go, you know, well, you know, this job interview, you know, this job here, it says it's like, you know, $38,000 a year, but I think I'm worth 54, and I think that's what you should pay me. So
try that.
The moment you say that to them, they're going to say, "Have a nice day." There it is. There's the door. See ya.
Carl?
Have a nice day.
Hey, Carl?
Yep.
Have you ever heard Jim Rohn's cash value in the marketplace?
Yeah, that's good. That's
Talk about the ladder.
Yeah.
And that's basically what it is. It's just your value in the marketplace. If you haven't never heard that, he starts out with the McDonald's guy who's making $5 an hour, and he says, because that's your value in the marketplace, because so nobody wants to pay $15 for a hamburger if you want to get $15 an hour, right? Would you pay it? So there's a certain amount of value you put in the marketplace.
Yep.
And then he says, can he make 10 times that? Make $50 an hour? And the answer is yes, because there's people that's making $50 an hour. What he has to do, he has to increase his skills. You know, go to the courses, get to the seminars, read the books, listen to the audios, a better thinking, and you train yourself to increase your value in the marketplace. And that's and what's nice about Empower, you can increase your value in the marketplace pretty fast.
You definitely can.
You know, what they're paying for is for your knowledge.
Yeah.
Not paying for your time is what you know.
Okay, see, you just hit a really good point here, because let's just talk about that. Let's talk about guys like Jim Rohn, Gary Vaynerchuk, Mike Dillard, all of these guys. Let's even talk about people that aren't in the network marketing industry. Let's talk about the sharks on Shark Tank. Let's talk about the dragons on Dragon's Den. Let's talk about all of these other people that are filthy rich. Let's talk about Mark Zuckerberg. Okay? Do you think Mark Zuckerberg is not constantly training his mind and learning new things all the time? This is a guy, as much as a lot of people don't like this guy, this is a guy who he's over intelligent, but he won't allow himself to plateau at any level. He will always be open-minded enough to learn more. You got Mark Cuban, okay? The guy who owns the Dallas Mavericks and many, many other things, okay? This is a guy who is always opening his mind to new things, always advancing the scale all the time, okay? The same thing with Kevin O'Leary, okay? One of the probably most hated guys around, but he's a billionaire for a reason. He speaks his mind, Great book, by the way, okay? Men, Women, and Money, okay? So, this is a guy who just lays it all out. He lays out exactly kind of what we're talking about here, okay? And these guys are rich because they don't refuse to learn. They will constantly be learning. And that's how people get wealthy. You look at, let's just talk about Alex Zubrev for a second, okay? Never mind Michael Martin and John Oakes, who are also doing these kind of things. These are guys that are constantly going to different events all the time, okay? Alex, you know what? Alex isn't happy making $1.2 million. He wants to do that a month, okay? Can he do it? Probably. Will he do it? Probably. Why will he do it? Because he doesn't stop himself. He doesn't put a limitation on himself. When we go and work for somebody else, we allow people to put limitations on us. I stopped that myself back in 2003 when I was working for a company and they wanted me to go and do twice the amount of work that I was already doing, but they didn't want to pay me for it. Okay? And they gave me an option. You either go there or see ya. So I said, see ya. Right? Right? I took a year's salary payout because I'd been there almost 20 years, and I took that out and I took my money and I ran. And I said, never again will I allow anybody to tell me how much money I'm worth. The other day, someone was asking me, and because I was talking to a person, and I was telling them about the Empower Network business, okay? And they were talking to me, they're going, I'd really like for you to teach me, how to do some of the things that you do to create the money that you do. And I go, well, you've got two options, okay? You can either pay me $250 an hour, here's my PayPal email, okay? Or you can come over to my business and I'll mentor you for 14 days straight on a trial and it'll cost you $7. Which one would you like to do? To me, it doesn't matter. I'll take your $250 like this. It doesn't matter to me. Or I can show you how everything comes together in 14 days. But remember, $250 for an hour, and if we have to go beyond that hour, that's another $250. So hey, I could walk out of this thing $5,000 or $6,000 richer. It doesn't matter to me. But here's where I'll show you how to do it. But then you're going to make a commitment to me at the end of the 14 days. At the end of the 14 days, if you can't make that commitment, then you're really not going to get the juicy stuff. Because I'm only going to share with you enough until you decide to commit to me. Right? So, what happened? What do you guys think happened?
We joined.
He didn't. He told me it was too much, both ways. Okay? Now, I need to tell you this because there's still more to this story. Okay? 2 days later, the same person tried to pitch me on a program saying that this was the best thing ever. See? That's exactly what I did. I almost peed my pants. I gave this guy option to take and tap into what I know and my resources and everything I have for $7, but that was too much. Wow. $250. He was thinking about that, and then he goes, "Nope, I don't think it's going to be worth it." And I thought to myself, "Whoa, it's no wonder there's so many broke people out there."
Mm-hmm.
I think people are programmed to think that getting into a business costs so much money, right?
You know what it is? It's leaving their comfort zone. I talk about this all the time. It's all about comfort zone. Mm-hmm. You know, people are so comfortable in their lives, okay? They've learned to settle, okay? I'm just going to go to work. You know what? I have a secure job and everything. I'm just going to go to work, and I'm going to, you know, let them tell me and let them pay me, right? The one thing that people don't realize is nothing is secure. Right. Nothing. You could be at a business for 20 years, and your head's the first one that gets cut. When times come, yours is the first one to get cut. Why is that? Does anybody know? Go ahead, Alan. Or Larry?
Larry, because you're probably the most expendable because you're probably the most expensive.
Exactly.
You have all the knowledge, so you're more expensive, so they got to let you go.
That's right. They're going to cut costs because at the end of the day, it's all about the fat cats on the council or the board about making the profits for the company. You see? That's where it's all at. And everybody is just what I call a puppet of society. Okay? You get in there and they play with your strings and they tell you what to do, and you know, when they're done with you, snip, 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 snip. There you go. Gone. Right? Here, the only one that can do that is you. Right. You're the only one that can cut your own strings. Okay? Look, I hire and fire myself probably a dozen times a day. Right? Because I know I got to get back to work if I'm going to make any money. Right? It's amazing I can actually kick myself in the ass. So, but you know, it's just, you know, this is just, a lot of people don't look at things in this perspective. And, you know, sometimes you just need to get on a phone call with people. And that's what I do. You know, this is what basically it works out to, is being able to sit there and start that communication role with everybody that comes in. You know, we all got to send out the welcome emails. You know, the amigos always tell you, you know, don't just send out a generic one, send out a personal one. Connect with them. Everybody that joins my business, I get them on Skype. Everybody. Okay? They come on Skype. If they don't get on Skype with me, then I guess they're just not worth pursuing anymore. Okay? I have people on my team that won't even communicate with me. Are these people worth going after? Give me your opinion. Is it worth pursuing?
That's something I've been working on, is trying to communicate with my people, and then I've reached out, and as I speak to you, I see about 3 or 4 refund notifications, because like you said, people are fearful of the unknown. Some people are able to connect with. Some people, you know, I think that they're complacent where they are, but yet they'll complain, but yet they're doing nothing about it. So I'm like, you know, I really don't have time for you if you're not trying to do what you need to do to change your situation. So it's unfortunate, you know, too bad, so sad. Don't get mad when I start sending you all kind of stuff as far as my success. And then, you know, like Mike Jones said, back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hot, they all on me. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's just going to be the reality I'm going to have.
Well, this is the thing. You know, I mean, you know, even John and Michael and Alex have talked about this a bit. You know, it's great to have a lot of people on your team, but you know, when you have them on your team, it's also you have to actually start doing a weeding process of who you're actually going to give your time to. Okay?
Right.
Now, you know, with me personally now, and I mean, I'm not saying this is for everybody, but this is what I do personally. Okay? I only work with those people now that submit that form. If they don't finish the 4 steps, they don't even get my time. I won't bother with them. Okay? You know, that's me, because I can build an army with 2 or 3 people.
Okay.
Okay? That's me. I'm not saying you don't ignore them. Continue to send out the regular broadcasts like you always do, but make sure that those people that are communicating with you, make sure that you are in constant communication. Those are your generals, okay, in your army.
So do you recommend maybe putting that in your welcome letter or your welcome video, like?
No, you know, you just have you got to be very careful on how you do this, okay? Like with me, I do a weeding process on everybody. You know, not everybody is like me, and I'm not telling everybody to be like me. This is just what my process is. Everybody has to figure out what their own process is.
Right.
Okay? But to me, I find myself that I have value.
Right.
And you have to decide what your value is worth. Okay? And who demands to get your value. Okay? And the ones that I deal with are those that tend to be engaging with me and within the team. These are the people that get my attention.
Right.
Okay? Because I know at that point that these are the people I know that I can turn them into gold members, diamond members, platinum members, that kind of stuff. People that don't engage, these are the people that are still trying to figure out what they want to do.
Right.
Okay? And if you were, I had that problem of trying to deal with everybody, thinking that I could save the world. Okay? You can't. You just can't save the world. Okay? Think about this. Okay? Let's go back to the talking about the getting hired. Okay? When you go in for your interview, okay, that's a weeding process. They're going to ask you a bunch of different questions, and you're going to have to hit the nail on the head on every single one of them. Because if you don't, your chances of becoming a member of that business are slim to none.
Right.
Okay? It's that simple. Okay?
Right.
So you basically got to go through kind of a weeding process. Me, I go through, that's why I get everybody on Skype, I go through an interview type process with everybody. Almost like a business. I want to find out what their goals are. I want to find out what their passion is. I want to find out what their focus is. Because if they come to me and go, well, you know, I like have like half an hour a day, maybe an hour or so a week to do this. You know, I got to take my dog for a walk all the time. You know, my favorite TV shows are on, like, you know, pretty much every night of the week. You know, I can't miss those, right?
Yeah, you kill it.
You get those people. You get those people, and you have to. You have to go through that weeding process. I deal with these people all the time. You know, do I really have to do anything? Do I have to go out and have to refer? You know what? This is sales, man. This is a sales business. Every business is a sales business. Even you, Paul, okay? Paul, in your business, you have to sell yourself and sell the company to your customers. Otherwise, they're not going to buy. You've got to oversell all the time. Larry, you've got to constantly be selling to not only the students, but to their parents, to the rest of the community, okay? Otherwise, your school ain't going to have any students, right?
But I also want to say,
you're going to find another place to go. Right?
Carl, I wanted to share something else too.
Sure.
You know, imagine that, you know, you go to a place and you want a better deal on something. You're going to always sell. Somebody comes at you, you want to wash your car, well, give me the best deal. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're always constantly selling, like you said, yourself, or trying to do something to try to, you know, move ahead for something you think is more beneficial. So you're right. That's something we all do naturally. Yeah. And I think plugging into the system just shows you how to tap into your inner Zig Ziglar, if you will, or tap into your inner salesperson and show you how to do it online. And just, again, being around people that are, I guess, for all intents and purposes, very successful. I mean, everyone's successful within it. So I'd rather be a part of that.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. You know, we have to constantly sell ourselves on everything. I mean, that's what we do. This is just what we have to do. This is our business. You got to remember, it's a business. You're not an employee anymore.
No.
Nobody's an employee anymore. You are an actual business owner, a franchisee, whatever you want to call yourself. Okay? You know, IBO. Everybody goes, I am an IBO. Well, you got body odor. I know that, but what are you? Right? So, you know, the independent business owner thing. You know, I have body odor. Independent business owner. Okay. Anyways.
Good to meet you there, guy.
So, you know, the thing is that you got to sell yourself, and you do whatever it takes ethically to do it. Okay, I want to put that in there, ethically, because there's a lot of deviance out there, and deviance doesn't get you anywhere but in trouble. Okay, so let's make sure that we stay within the compliance of everything. Be ethical, because people, the moment you turn unethical, that's when tables turn on you. Okay, so. I've kept everybody for an hour and a half. I probably talked way too much. Anything else anybody wants to add in here before we close her down?
Thanks, Carl.
I just want to say, Carl, thank you for all your effort and coaching session you're doing for us. And we want to say appreciate all the things you're doing, and we keep a good work, and we see everybody in Nashville, Gaylord. You can just make find a roommate also. We have a Facebook group, chit chat with each other and hold each other back. And also one more thing, comment in each other blog and a picture and everything. Just be you, I'm me, and I appreciate all your pattern. Love you guys. Just support each other.
Yes.
We love you too, and you know what? I appreciate that, but this is a whole effort here. I mean, this is this whole panel on here, so I appreciate you guys just as much to understand that coming on here. You know, we're building one big giant army together here, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And you know, we're going to see all that all come out in Nashville for everyone who's able to make it there, and those who don't make it there, well, of course, we'll be at the next one, because really there's not going to be an excuse. You get one pass with me, and that's about it, right? So, you know, and I'm even lenient there, right? You know, at some point in time, I'll get the leniency of David Wood, where there won't be any, right?
Yeah, come on.
And there really shouldn't be any. You know, we've got to. This is all a growth process in all of us. You know, we're going to do some things the wrong way. We're going to misstep. We're going to trip over our tongues. We're going to do all kinds of stuff out there. Right? But at the end of the day, if you still have your passion and drive, and you keep to your daily action plan, that is the most key thing. Too many people end up going away from the commitments. Right. Okay? This is why they tell you, pin them on the wall in front of you. I don't know, if you got to go to the point, go to the tattoo artist and get it tattooed on your forehead. I don't know. Figure out something that you follow these things every single day. Okay? It's that vital. Ever since I restarted blogging again, because I've been blogging for 10 years, but I stopped for a couple of years. And I actually missed it, because it was too much work for me to go back and redo my blogs, because I'd have to revamp the whole thing. And it was just way too much work to do. Empower Network, you guys, has, in my personal opinion as a blogger, the most powerful blogging platform there is online today. Okay? And it's very effective. I'm getting lots of traffic off my blogs now. But I post every day. I put a video in every one of my posts that I do. And just keep to that. That's part of your 8 core commitments. You've got to be doing that. Step number 4, every single day. Okay? So, guys, gals, thank you so much for joining me on here. Hopefully we'll see you back here on
Thanks,
Thursday if you can make it.
Thank you.
And we'll find something else to talk about. and maybe I won't talk.
Carol?
You guys
Carol?
Yep.
Why don't you next time when we talk about building content for blogs, since you've been a blogger?
Okay. Let me write that down. Content. Okay, that's what we'll do. We'll talk about building content. I got some great ideas on that stuff that I use all the time.
Just share the love, buddy. Share the love.
You bet, man. So again, everyone, thanks so much for hanging out with me. Sorry I talked too much. You know, if you need to, bring a gag or something. We can throw it in my mouth, and then you guys can talk. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, everyone, thanks again. Have a great day.
Thanks, Carl.
Bye.
All right, yeah.